Would I ever add an input display for my Mario Maker 2 streams? I would love to if there was a way to do it and I didn't have to switch to a controller I dislike to do it. And yeah, absolutely. It's not exactly an easy thing to do to somehow intercept the inputs that are going to the Nintendo Switch in some different software and still have them go to the Nintendo Switch. If someone knew how to do it and they helped me do it, I would love to, but it just seems so infeasible.
Turns out it is possible, as filmed by my phone on a Gambiarra tripod. I'm connected over Wi-Fi that's behind 2 walls here, so it's not something that requires a ton of network speed. It involves a piece of software called Open Joystick Display, which you can see up top, and a switch system module that broadcasts to Open Joystick Display. System module, I hear you ask? A system module is a background service that's able to run on hacked switches. I'm not going to guide you through hacking your switch, but there are good guides out there, and I will link one below for installing Atmosphere. Disclaimer: by hacking your Switch, you most likely void any warranty, you put yourself at risk of online bans, and you have the potential of bricking your Switch. I am not responsible for any bans or damage that may happen to your Switch. Hacking your Switch and following this guide is your choice. However, as far as we know, you will only get banned if you pirate games, cheat or mod in online games, or perform some sketchy online behavior, including setting your profile picture to something that's not available normally. Firstly, you're going to need to download the Open Joystick Display software at OJDproject.com. I'm on Linux, so I'll be downloading the Linux variant. But the usage process for the other 2 platforms should be fairly straightforward. Just as a reference, on the Windows version, after you extract the zip, you would want to run openjoystickdisplay.exe. So now I have the archive open in my archive manager, and I want to extract this application folder to some other folder that's not inside of an archive. And when you open it, you'll see all the run files. When you run it for the first time, you'll be greeted with this screen. It shows an Xbox One controller, and all these buttons are set here. And if you want to set it up for your Nintendo Switch, you'll go to Theme, Nintendo Switch, Style, Joy-Cons, and you can pick whatever Joy-Cons, or Pro Controller, and you can pick whatever Pro Controller. So I'll just stick on the standard Pro Controller. And then the mapping is going to be Nintendo Switch hacked OJD server NX, because that is going to be the software we're installing on our Switch. Now that we're able to run Open Joystick Display, we'll need to install the system module on our Nintendo Switch. So the system module we want is located at github.com/stevenmatura/OJDS-NX. I'll link that in the description because it's kind of a mouthful. So we'll want to go to the releases and download the latest release, and that would be just the zip here. So the next part of the setup is noting down what the IP address of your Switch is. We'll be using the IP address to transfer files and connect to the Open Joystick Display server. If you can see on the camera recording, because sadly I don't have a capture card, my network IP is 192.168.1.116. Next, we need to open an FTP server on our Switch so we can transfer files to it. Now, to do this, you would either want to have sysftpd enabled. If your Switch is already hacked, you know what that is, and you probably have it enabled. If it's not, you're going to want to download the normal FTPD app, and I'll show how to do that here by going to the Homebrew App Store and searching for FTP, and it's the one that just says FTPD, and you're going to want to download that. And once you have it, you're going to want to find it in your Homebrew menu and open it. So to connect to the FTP server we've opened on the Switch, we're going to use a software called Filezilla. Now Filezilla is very simple to install. You can probably just Google how to install Filezilla and you'll find the right thing. So the first thing we're going to do is enter our switch's IP into this host. So 192.168.1.116 in my case. In your case, it'll definitely be different. And the port is always going to be 5000 for your switch. Quick connect, it's going to tell you that the server doesn't support FTP over TLS. That's fine because it's on your local home network. So always allow if you want. I'm going to do that. So then we see the SD card contents of our switch. And what we want to do is open the folder that we extracted OJDS-NX to earlier. And we're going to drag the atmosphere folder from that onto our switch. Once that's done, the switch will need to be rebooted back into custom firmware. But while we're waiting for that, we can configure this to actually pull data from our switch. So we need to go down to this profile input driver section and select network OJD server beta and plug in the IP of the switch. So that would be 192.168.1.116 in my case. And now the switch should be booted up and you should be able to click this reconnect button. So as it is, you can't really do much with this. I mean, it's on a black background and the controller itself is black, so there's not really much you can do in terms of chroma keying or anything. But there's an option down here and it's default at magenta and you can enable it. And now you can chroma key the background. But you still have this issue of the buttons and all this UI around here. So as it says, press ESC to enter broadcast mode. And now this is a window that you can actually window capture and make transparent. So I can go ahead and add a window capture. And I'll make it the open joystick display. And of course right now it is bright magenta, but if I go ahead and add a filter, and I'm gonna add a color key for magenta, up the smoothness, I'm gonna up the similarity a little bit. And so now we have a usable input display for your switch. That's all. Thanks for watching.